According to a day analysis of 19 years of accident data, I-95 in East Lyme from exit 71 to the 395 exchange had the highest number of accidents and fatalities east of the Connecticut River. Do you think that the governor's transportation plan will address that, or does something have to be done sooner to address that?
Well, so what I believe is that we should extend Route 11. If you actually extend that, you'd alleviate some of the traffic that we see on 95 and 395. So that could address some of the issue. I do think that the governor's transportation plan could be adjusted to allow that to happen earlier. I know that that was on some of the out years for the transportation plan, but I think that would provide a lot of benefit to the area. I mean, right now, people are driving on roads that were not intended to have that kind of traffic to get to Route 11.
Mr. Formica, on the congestion and the accidents we've seen in that area, and also Route 11 was introduced into the discussion. And you have up to 90 seconds.
Thank you. I was, in business at the time of that horrific multiple fatality that occurred at exit 75 and saw the effects of it in the region at the gateway of 395 and 95. I worked hard with Representative Carney to address the issues from the bridge at exit 70 all the way through to exit 80 or crossroads coming through where it seems to be the most congestion. We need to first reduce the speed limit. We need to do that, and I think as shown in Route 6, they increased the margin for the shoulder, which seemed to alleviate a lot of the problems for traffic. So I think we have reduced the speed limit, increased the shoulder if we can. I think there should be more education on driving while distracted at a younger level to make sure that that is taken out of the equation. And as far as Route 11 goes, I, as the first selectman of East Lyme, was on the Route 11 Commission and pushed for many years for the completion of Route 11. The reality of it is that most likely will never be done in our lifetime, so we can't just wait for that to happen. I think we're better off, and I have worked hard at exit 74 with the introduction of the new gateway development there to redo exit 74, both north and south, which will help with safety. And I think let's just redo the interchange at 395. Let's put Route 11 on hold and improve Route 85 all the way up through, and I think we'll have a better bang for our dollar. Thank you.
Mr. Henowitz, you have up to 30 seconds to further respond to what you've heard.
I mean, clearly these traffic scenarios are something that we need to address. I think part of that comes from the funding of the transportation system within the state, and we need to address that. I think that throwing in the towel on Route 11 isn't necessarily the best answer. I think that if you believe in something, you should keep fighting for it.
Before we move to another topic, I'll ask our timekeepers. Let's give the candidates a minute each. Just to expand on transportation, I think everyone, there's pretty much agreement that Connecticut needs to improve its transportation system. There might be disagreements of how to go about it, but certainly that we are in need of repairing and upgrading our transportation system. On the topic of tolls, that's been cited as one revenue source. So if I could just maybe a minute response from both our candidates, starting Mr. Henowitz and then the senator. Are you in favor of tolls or not to fund transportation in Connecticut? Mr. Henowitz?
So I am in favor of tolls. I think that the argument about accidents being caused by tolls should be reviewed, because if we see tolls all across New England and all across the area, then clearly it's not as much of an impact in these other states and not as disastrous as we view it here. I think that that's a way to help adjust for the transportation funding and then create jobs from that alone. I think that we have to look at these avenues to regain revenue from trucks just traveling through the state, actually causing damage to our highways that end up not paying any kind of portion to try and repair it.
And Senator Formica, your position on tolls?
Thank you very much. Right now, I am against tolls for a number of reasons, although they are in most of the states surrounding us. One of the things that happens when you put tolls on roads is that you cannot toll existing roads that we have here in the state of Connecticut without having effect on the contribution the Federal Highway Administration gives the state. for their dollar. So I would be looking for a complete fiscal analysis of what the cost of the infrastructure of tolls would be, what the cost of the labor would be, what the intended revenue or expected revenue would be versus what we would be losing from the Federal Highway Administration, and then balance that to see. The governor has proposed $100 billion in new transportation upgrades. We have proposed $70 billion, which we think will do the right thing, be more achievable, and be in line with, you know, when we have to pay it back, because you got to make the payment every month. So we have to do that, and I guess
All right,
time's
thank
up.
you. With that, we'll move to another question of the topic, and it's for Senator Formica, and it's from David Collins.